You took an advocate hoe. This woman,
A proud one.
It's hot girl summer.
Body yada yada. Body crazy with the big. All right, church, we're back yet again, understand me? With a mighty fine word, understand me? I am the presidential, intellectual masculine CEO, understand me? We have brotherly advice for kings, understand me? To my right, understand me? Your left, understand me, church? We up in this thing, try to dive in a deep word, understand me? Tonight's episode gonna be titled, understand me? The spiritual way to avoid being Diddy, understand me? From a spiritual perspective. You wanna extrapolate on that before we dive into the word? You wanna dive straight into the word?
I mean,
BA, understand me?
I'll say this.
Church.
Bad decisions lead to bad consequences.
Understand me? It's an inevitability, church. With that said,
man, we can carry on into the word.
All right, church, if you love the Lord, understand me, hit that like button, share and subscribe, understand me. We're giving you this freshest, creamiest dip, understand me, putting that dip on your chip, understand me, getting your lane, understand me, going insane, understand me. Let's dive into the word, understand me. Tonight's topic, understand me, is going to be coming out of First Colossians. Actually, not First Colossians, understand me. I misspoke. Colossians 3, understand me. 3rd chapter, 5th verse, understand me. And this is the Every Man's Bible interpretation. King James might be a little slightly different. New Revised Standard Version might be a little slightly different. But the gist is the same, church. Read the scripture, extrapolate what you need, understand me, apply it to your life, understand me, church. 5th verse. So put to death the sinful, earthly things lurking within you, understand me. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolater, church, understand me. Worshiping the things of this world. Because of these sins, this is verse 6, understand me. The anger of God is coming. Understand me, church?
Amen.
It's coming. It done came. It's here, church.
Amen.
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Baby all in Stockton went up, understand me, church? Baby all stocked through the roof.
Baby oil and CVS, baby. The stocks to have.
That slip and slide glides through the roof, church, understand me? Hey, can we expound upon the detriments of, because we just, in the last weeks, understand me, the whole trial is for the world to see. Public display of nonsense, understand me? Wasting taxpayers' dollars to talk about him and his freak-offs, understand me? That is a term we use.
It's just embarrassing.
In the court of public opinion, understand me, a term they're using to describe the escapades of Diddy and friends is, and I quote, a freak-off, church. This is where we come to. This is what our taxpayers' dollars are paying to discuss Diddy and his freak-offs. NBA, understand me? Can you help out the church people? Can you help the people out, understand me? The people need some guidance on how to not be involved in these freak-offs, understand me? What can you tell them?
Well, precision is key. And when I say precision is key, is how you move. A lot of people move with such indirection and such sexual immorality,
understand me,
that they don't be thinking in the proper aspect in which God would want them to move. Because if they did, then they wouldn't be out here having freak off.
Is there any scenario, church, where a freak off is okay? Or is freak off just if you got a freak off for people who willing participants? Because from what we are seeing in the court of public opinion, understand me, Cassie was cool with the freak off till she wasn't. Well, so is the freak off in of itself the problem? Is it the people he decided to do freak off with? Is it his capacity to be a freak off individual in the first place? Where is the problem here? Where is the line of delineation so that people can understand?
Well,
the path of least resistance to righteousness. Understand me?
My belief on my analysis of this,
church,
is it's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have a Jezebel spirit and then run into no leadership.
Church,
and you can't have a devilish mindset and lead a woman who don't stand on no type of morals.
Understand me?
So with either one of those combinations, you're gonna have Diddy. No Diddy.
A Diddy scenario, understand me? I remember a scripture I read, church. I can't remember the name off the top of my head verbatim. However, it dove into the concept and the constraints of understanding and extrapolating the reality of the one man, one wife narrative. Understand me? That law was placed into existence not necessarily because of the fact that it was for a man and for a woman to be one-on-one. Understand me? Because best believe there were many individuals that were blessed with multiple wives throughout the scriptures of the word. Understand me? So we need to understand the context of why that law was put into place. Inherently so understand me, during the time when that law was placed into reality, there was a bunch of quote-unquote sexual immorality going on in church, a bunch of sexual deviancy coming on in church. So the law of the land was made plain and clear, one man, one wife, because y'all can't sit y'all on fire behind down, understand me? That's why the law was made into place. So is there an interpretation there, understand me? That since there's the yin to the yang, you can't have the negative without the positive, meaning my assessment of that, church, is that law applies to the heathens of the world. The heathens of this planet, you got to have one woman, one wife, understand me? But if you have the capacity of conducting yourself in a righteous manner, you can have as many as you can take care of, understand me, church? Within the means of your articulation, understand me? Don't stress yourself thin and don't bite off more than you can chew, understand me, so to speak. However, there's nothing inherently adverse to the word that says a man should be tied to or inherited to one particular wife, because we have to understand the context of the scripture at the time. Marrying a woman at the time was just the act of having fornication and production of the sexual acts, understand me? That was marriage at the time. It was no ceremony. There was no church.
No broom jumping.
There was no pastor, understand me, church. You just had intercourse with this woman, and upon the moment of intercourse, you two were married. You were bound, you became one flesh, understand me? So technically speaking, we done married a bunch of people out here in the world, understand me?
Man.
Church, we done had a bunch of marriages.
Say, man.
You may understand this from a biblical perspective, understand me? But every time you go deep dive, understand me? That's a wedding, understand me?
Wife. Yeah, that's your wife.
Meet me at the altar in your right
wives, my boy.
We ain't getting no younger. You might as well do it. So, church, you gotta understand the reality of scripture. What's your perspective on my interpretation of that, church? Because you're a soon to be married man, understand me? Absolutely. Congratulations, understand me, church.
I appreciate that.
So what's your interpretation as a man who has committed to one woman in the modern day times with the ceremony, understand me? Is your interpretation similar to that, adverse to, or in lieu of, or understand me? Is there opportunities for deviation from people's perspective of pertaining to the one man, one wife articulation, understand me? And some individuals want to double down and say that as if that's the thing that keeps you out of this scenario, is find you a good woman and find you a good man and sit down somewhere, understand me, church? Is that in and of itself the solution? Because I see heathens out here that's married and still doing ditty stuff, understand me?
Right. So, I mean,
church.
My assessment of the situation is this. Mm-hmm. And if my wife was sitting right here, she
gonna be here, church.
Yeah, she'll be here soon. She'll hard.
She go get on here, shiny and chrome, understand me?
You know what I'm talking about? So, the way our situation is on paper, she is my wife. Mm-hmm. And she will always be my wife. You know what I'm saying? There is no doubt about that. She's the one who has all my children. Mm-hmm. Now, if it comes to a situation where somebody else is coming to the situation,
church,
she vets her.
Understand me?
Because I know at the end of the day, she gonna protect her investment.
That's your bottom, understand me? That's your bottom. That's your ride or die, understand me? That's your house mom, understand me? She keeps things in order, understand me?
So
we got the terms. We understand the terminology, understand me? But for whatever reason, we want to turn things off. We want to act as if the rules and regulations don't apply to everything, understand me? Even a house full of disadvantageous females, understand me? Even a brothel, understand me? Got to have a house mom. They got to have some order somewhere at church.
So the one man, one wife thing, in my assessment, mm-hmm. you know what I'm saying, throughout time, I have
that boy talking
come to
church.
The conclusion that
boy talking church. Talk to him.
That rule was created strictly to help out simps.
Understand me? Survival of the simp. Understand me? See, the simp don't have very much sexual control or sexual morality. Understand me? Everything about him is driven by the wrong head, understand me?
Right. He doesn't have a natural plan to reach it to, not like, He doesn't have a natural plan, period.
Understand me?
He thinks with, like you say, the wrong head.
Understand me?
And when that happens, it's not a situation where that man gonna be able to get himself out of it because he didn't think his way into it.
Understand me?
He smashed his way into it.
He felt his way into it.
There you go.
Understand me?
I didn't even want to use the word. He smashed his. He crashed out.
Understand me, church? See, on this platform, we don't use certain words. Understand me? You may find us correcting ourselves by misusing terms that we deem unworthy of righteous men. For instance, understand me? We don't use the word "I feel like" on this channel. Understand me? No. We don't use the word "like." Understand me? If you catch us using "like," understand me? Hit us in the comments saying, "Hey, y'all said like."
Yeah, like get in there and be say, bro, what you doing? You being lazy.
Iron sharper iron, church. We need y'all assistance on this. Understand me? If we're gonna save the world one simp at a time, we need all hands on deck. Understand me? This transcends time, race, creed, location. Understand me? Geographic location. All that come full circle when you serving underneath the Most High. Understand me? There's a God everywhere. It may not call him God everywhere, but there's a God everywhere. Understand me?
Absolutely.
And we all are here to serve it. Understand me? And do our best and give it the glory for giving us the opportunity to be great. Understand me? That's what we're here to do. We ain't here to buy buckets and gallons of baby oil and sip and slide everywhere, church. That ain't what we're here. That ain't what we're here to do, church.
The easiest way to show your appreciation for what was given to you is use the vernacular you were taught, instead of using these filler words and being feelings and.
Hey, church.
You're a man. You ain't got no feelings.
Church, feelings are not very useful.
Logic.
Feelings are not very useful to the male. Understand me? They are not your friend. They tend to compromise you and put you in situations where you make decisions that will have you in a disadvantageous situation. Understand me, church?
Diddy.
Have you in a Diddy scenario. Understand me? Diddy was not doing much practical, logical thinking in the process of diving deep on 100 gallons of baby oil. Understand me, church?
With men and women, just everybody.
Understand me? The Jezebel spirit is not tied to a particular gender. We tend to understand a process or interpret that the Jezebel is referring to a female. Understand me? Well, that's not a true statement. Diddy most absolutely was conducting himself as a Jezebel
spirit. Boy.
Understand me? And the list is very long and strong when it comes to these Jezebel men. Understand? We got top of the list right now. We got Diddy. Understand me?
Absolutely.
We got the little DDG. He went upside the head of Little Mermaid. Understand me? Crashed out. Simp. His career's over with. Understand me? Ain't no recovery from that. You can't knock out the Little Mermaid. Church is over with. You can't be out here. You can't be out here hearing that.
Dude that put his hands on Lil Halle, huh?
Yeah,
that's her name.
Yeah, she was a Little Mermaid, the black one.
Oh man,
it's over with.
Yeah, you put your hands on the Disney characters. Yeah, bro, they finna flush your toilet.
You should have understood that just off the grip. Understand? Y'all simps, y'all simps will find a way to crash out. Understand me? I don't get it.
Hey man, another assessment that I have realized, especially since acquiring the wife.
Church.
Daddies matter so much.
Masculine daddies.
Oh my God, daddies matter so much.
Masculine daddies matter.
Absolutely.
Because we have a lot of...
There's some simp ass daddies out there, and I'm not talking about y'all. Just because you stayed, that just means you had a good enough job where she would cheat on you and come back home. So it's not the simp daddies I'm talking about. I'm talking about them stand up stiff daddies.
So we have to really dive into the terms of this, church, because every man that stuck around think he was a good father. Understand me? When just being there to pay bills, and if your daughter, let me give you a symbol if you were a good father or not. Understand me, church? If your daughter has not chosen a proper male for her to lock arms with and be married to and be attached to, that you vetted, gave away to her verbatim, and provided your blessing to say, I approve of you giving my daughter your last name. Understand me? You didn't do a good job as a father. See, the thing we misunderstand in this quote unquote vetting process is that the male has been conditioned to try to vet the female. Understand me? But within the traditional terms of marriage, holy matrimony, understand, with the ceremony and the wedding cake and the invite list, understand me, the father is the one tasked with vetting the male, confirming the male is suitable, and giving the daughter away to the male, which inherently is the whole logical reason behind exchanging of the last names, understand me? You don't take her last name, she takes yours. And the father is the one who approves of you getting the privilege, quote unquote, of getting my daughter, and I will, in exchange for you providing my daughter such a great life that I have provided for her already, you are an extension of that, and you are being able to carry the mantle, understand me, and continue providing this great life with leadership, guidance, protection, provision, understand me. In exchange for you being able to do all these things, I'll pay for the wedding, church. That's the traditional way of marriage.
Yeah.
And there ain't no other way to do it, understand me?
Absolutely.
If you do it any other way outside of those parameters, meaning
you're not doing it right.
Her father must vet you, her father must approve of you, and her father must give her away, and her father must financially be in a position where he pays some on it for us providing some kind of provision to facilitate this wedding ceremony, understand me? If all those things are not true, you might not have your wife within the bottom terms of reality. I don't know what you got, understand me, church, but you don't got a wife.
That part.
We want to skip around the terms, so we want to have the wedding ceremony, but we want to skip the rules and regulations of the whole ceremony existing in the first place. The purpose of the ceremony is for your father to officially say, hey, she is no longer mine, she is now yours.
Exactly.
That's the only purpose of the ceremony, church. It ain't for you to get cute in front of all your friends. It ain't for you to throw the bouquet over your shoulder. It ain't for you groomsmen and bridesmaids to go do the lecture slide, understand me, and the Cupid shuffle, understand me?
Right.
Now they doing where they fans at, understand me?
Yeah, none of that.
I ain't never gonna do that dance, church. You ain't never gonna see the presidential out here with no daggone fan, understand me, popping, understand me? You ain't gonna see me like that, understand me?
Now, I will expound on what you said with my own personal experience with my wife's father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I pulled up on him, I gave him a list of demands. He
Church.
gave me a list of demands.
Church, a negotiation.
It was a negotiation.
And that's what it should be, church.
Real talk,
y'all both should
real.
have some leverage. He says, hey, I've done an outstanding job raising this woman so far, son.
And I've done an outstanding job taking care of her.
Why should I trust you, son?
Because I did everything on this list you asked me to do.
Understand me, church?
And now that I done everything on this list, here's my list.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I want done by the time this wedding get here.
Understand me, church?
Fair exchange ain't no robbery, pleb. So, like, and I'll divulge some of what was on his list. He required that we didn't stay together, which was not an issue
until y'all was married.
Until we get married.
Okay.
So to this day, I still hold that. I ain't tripping because you know he's a very traditional man.
Right.
So
I had no clue. I thought y'all already living together, church. That's an outstanding situation, church.
No,
all
we
right.
don't live together. Number two was he wanted me to have $45,000 in the bank by the time, you know what I'm saying, I bought the ring. Mission accomplished. I had already had it anyway.
Understand me?
So, and then the third one was he wanted to make sure that in the event that she pissed me off, that I would pick the phone up and call the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only three requirements.
That's a good deal, church. That sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, and my three requirements was pay for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that when she get to this wedding, that she don't have no issues. I don't want no debt. I don't want none of that. Everything on her need to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then pay her car off.
Mm-hmm.
He did it.
All right, hey, church. Hey, who having these conversations? Nobody. I know none of y'all watching had a conversation with your wife's daddy talking about what you need from him.
Yeah. Like, bro, even when she pissed me off, like, I really will pick the phone up and be like, say, man, your daughter is over here tripping.
You wasn't like you picked up the phone. You literally picked up the phone and said, hey, your daughter's tripping.
I picked the phone up, say, bro, what's happening over here? Appreciate the correction. Say, hey, my dude, look, this is what you need to do. Hold on. Talk to your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if my personal suggestion for any single man out here, you out here looking for a wife, make sure she has both parents and her father is a masculine leader. Because if he's a masculine leader, he's gonna hold you accountable.
Go hold you accountable. Go hold her accountable, church, and you ain't gonna have no problem. Understand me? It's going through real fresh and creamy. Understand me?
You ain't gonna have no issue.
Hey, you gonna be going insane in your lane. Understand me?
Right.
Be hitting
You
that
don't
triple
have to-
double.
Yeah,
Understand me?
you don't have to trip out, bro.
Go-
you
you
can
go
just give
ahead.
her the play. She gonna run the play the way she's supposed
Understand me?
to.
Going
Because
super-
she's always been taught, and she knows that when she's given a play, she has to execute.
And you got
and
your-
she knows on the other side of it that it's a reward.
You got your first round draft pick, church. You get one like that.
See what I'm talking about?
You going to the Super Bowl, understand me? Super Bowl champs. You got your dynasty now.
Yeah. So, I call the plays, she run them. If she
Understand me?
feel like she needs some help, she'll go hire another. She'll go hire her a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing no tweaking.
Church, that was a mighty fine word, understand me? We talked for how long? About 20 minutes, understand me, church? You either want to deep dive in. We dove in on this Diddy stuff pretty tough. Oh, another subject, understand me? This is how the press almost forgot about it, church. Word on the street is, understand me, that brother, understand me, I don't know, I can't remember his real name. They keep on calling by his government name, but he goes by Tory Lanez, understand me. Another simp down, understand me. So the interpretation of this man, this
Simp
lost
in
soul
distress.
scenario, is he should have never been in that situation in the first place, to be compromised with a female with the capacity to articulate in her mind and be a victim of violence at your hand when supposedly you are not the culprit, understand me? And all of the data prior to your arrest and to your conviction was pointing to that, but somehow, some way, the narrative was driven that you are the only assailant in this matter. Now, all of a sudden, there's other eyewitnesses that's coming out and saying something to the adverse of what has been deemed the public court opinion. Understand me? Whether these things are true, we'll find out in due time. Understand me? Who knows? Who cares? The point is not, church, to be hindsight 2020, complaining about the fact that it's some woman caught you up. Understand me? What you need to learn and what you need to extrapolate from this message, church, is how to have preventive maintenance. In the military, we have documentation for every piece of equipment that we have. Understand me? For a woman to you is no more than just a very extremely useful tool that if you don't know how to govern accordingly and maintain it, it will fail on you. Understand me? If you do not know how to inspect and maintain and provide care and provision, protection, and leadership and direction to your tool, it will fail you. Understand me? So
exactly.
Males nowadays, I won't even say nowadays, church, males since the beginning of time have failed continually to utilize the tool that God gave them in order to facilitate the proper dynamics that they need to have between a man and a woman when it comes to romantic engagements. Understand me? They do not put themselves in a position of leadership or leverage, and they continuously compromise themselves for what reason I do not know. Maybe it's just the thirst of the lust and the power of their loins overwhelming their logical thought process. However, there were several opportunities for this man to avoid this scenario prior to. He didn't have. What man who's really a righteous man would be engaging with a woman who calls herself a male horse in any capacity? Why is that a decision that you would choose willingly to make? And instead of just keeping it a very surface level escapade scenario, you want to get into a real relationship with the male stallion. Understand me? To the point to where y'all up here fighting like cats and dogs in the street, and people getting nicked on the pinky toe or on the big toe by stray bullets. Understand me? And they saying that you did it, church. Whether you did it or not, is irrelevant. Who knows? Obviously, the public don't really care because you still got convicted, sir. It's irrelevant if you actually did it. What is relevant is you have to have the capacity of man to learn how to avoid those scenarios to where you can prevent the situation from happening in the first place. Understand me? The first lesson of protection when it comes to protecting yourself and protecting the people you quote unquote love, understand me, is prevention. Prevention is the first level of protection, understand me?
Well,
I talk for a lot, AD, or AB, understand me? Or
Right.
BA, my bad, understand me? I talk a lot, BA. Can you chime in and let the church know?
I can, and I'll say,
how do we avoid the male stallions out here?
we'll see, Tory Lanez, that's the only name I know him by. I could care less about his government name.
Understand me?
and I hated to use that word right there, but he makes me draw blank when I think about him because he made so many mistakes.
Yes.
Like he made so many mistakes it dumbfounded me. So mistake number one, he started treating a hoe like a lady. I just don't understand that. Like, why do you treat a hoe? I don't understand. It baffles me as to why he treats a hoe like a lady. And then when the hoe acts like a hoe, you get mad. Like, no, sir. No, sir.
Well,
you can't do that.
From the perspective of her, she doesn't view herself as. We have to think back to when she took the stand. She was crying and she was innocent flower and was the victims. From her mindset and from her mouth, she said her and Tory Lanez never had sex.
She admittedly came back and said that was a lie.
That's hindsight 2020. So
I can only go by what I know. I mean, she would have never convinced me that she didn't fuck him. And excuse my French for saying that. Forgive me, God. My bad. I know you working on me. I'm a process.
It's getting hot, man. Church. It's getting hot.
Yeah, it's getting hot in there, man. You know, he makes my blood boil. It's saying, man, this whole situation is just nuts. Like, Jesus, Jiminy Crickets. How do you smash on somebody? Get on live TV, tell us you didn't smash. Then in the same TV show, when you walk away from this woman behind closed doors, you say, I had to lie. Why? We knew you did it. Every other dude you talked to smashed. Tory Lanez the only one that didn't.
Well,
then Tory Lanez, your decision making. You took an advocate. This woman,
a proud one.
It's hot girl summer.
Body yada yada. Body crazy with the big.
I'm a big old freak. Remember that? I'm a big old freak. She telling you I'm a big old freak.
Body crazy with the big titty, small waist.
That you want for a wife.
And body yada 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 yada. That's what he wanted, man. He wanted the body yada yada.
Okay, you was supposed to clap them cheeks and slide on out the way. Well, her and her homegirl. Well, the one who shot her in the foot for real. Because you didn't tell her.
So if he really was on some ism, understand me, he would have been his.
He would have smashed both of them. He would have been
hitting both of them at the same time. So
right.
He allowed the scenario to turn into a love triangle where he trying to shame the Theo foes, understand me? He trying to shame the Theo foes for doing Theo foe activity when you knew that's what they was before you engaged with them. Why are you upset when someone shows you their hand
when they already told you who they were?
This is why the show is called The Survival of the Simp, understand me? It seems as if individuals want to see hindsight 2020 and want to see the silver lining and the beauty of individuals in spite of them showing their hand, in spite of them showing you who they are, right in your face. You still want to view them as some kind of pretty angel. And the only thing that I can process that's the contributing factor to that is the individual's physical beauty. Because if we were talking about Lizzo ain't having these problems. Ain't nobody trying to do all this extra cuffing up and extra articulation and extra facilitation and all this other stuff trying to get with no Lizzo, understand me? It ain't happening. It
also kind of goes back to, well, it ain't no kind of to it. It goes back to what I just said too. If these hoes tell you they hoes, they're hoes.
Well, I think some individuals.
See what I'm saying? Like, there's no.
I've seen on some of those internet ways where I seen a male. I want to say an interview, but it was a public conversation where the man said that it's difficult for us as men to distinguish the difference between the 304s and the good women because they all look the same. They all have on the same uniform. Understand me, Church?
No, they don't.
So, could you expound on the uniform of a gracious queen? Understand me, compared to the 304s of society? What does the uniform look like? Because I've seen some women that can be dressed like Shirley Temple and still I heard on some out of bounds type activity. Understand me? I've seen it happen multiple times. Understand me, Church?
Right. So here's the difference.
We have to see past the aesthetic
Right. It's not
Deep
an
dive on
aesthetic
that for the
thing.
church, understand me?
And the deep dive is the definition of prostitution. And that definition is if you exchange money for the services or time of a woman, that woman by definition is a escort / prostitution. So if you have to spend money other than spend time.
So we assuming Tory Lanez breaking bread.
What?
He was big trigger.
What you mean? Like literally, let's just look back over the past 5 years of the major breakups of these simp niggas and see what they've been doing. They all have one thing in common. They spending their money and they not using their words and their male authority, their actual masculinity to get things done. They're trying to pay their way into being somebody's man. You can't do that.
Well, I've seen some individuals, some lost souls, understand me, that process or and articulate that the money is what gives them the leverage.
No. If that was the case, how do you see these bum ass dudes with these super rich women? It's the ism.
Understand me, church?
It's the ism. If you got it, you ain't gotta have a dime because you got it and she want it. She don't want the money, she want it.
What is it? What is the ism?
She wants that masculine energy that can control her.
What is that the ism in of itself? Pure masculinity is the ism?
It's pure masculinity, but it's gotta be guided by God.
Understand me?
It's gotta be guided by God. If it's not guided by God, then you did it.
Understand me? See, so this is the thing. This is where the term, the coin catchphrase, toxic masculinity has been derived from. So the Disney scenario is what we could probably define as toxic masculinity.
That is toxic masculinity.
But from my perspective, anything that's inherently toxic isn't inherently masculine in the first place.
Exactly.
So toxic masculinity is actually femininity.
Regular masculinity is what they're trying to label as toxic, because men naturally have
a combative nature to them.
We have an inherent control of force. That's why men rule the world, because we control force. See what I'm saying? Like when it comes to force, men is smashing on everything. Now, if it was to be about being vindictive, then of course women would rule the world because they the most vindictive creatures on the planet. But it's not about being vindictive; it's about force. And men that actually move like God and move with their masculine energy the way they're supposed to, force is part of what they do on the daily. Whether it's verbal force, it's always in it. You know what I'm saying? It's always something that comes about where the man in him is, where that godlike image in him steps out from his being and say, hey, what did I say? Do what I said do and get it done now. And every masculine, godly man that walks like that has that moment every day, whether it be with your wife, your kids, your gal, at your job, with somebody. It don't matter. It's going to happen every day.
And most importantly, he's doing it with himself. Understand me?
There you go.
He holds himself accountable before he dares to expect any kind of reciprocation or cooperation from anybody else. Understand me? He is not expecting anybody to do something he's not prepared to do himself. Exactly. And or most likely probably already has done it. So that's how he knows how he needs it to be accomplished. He has a baseline of understanding of what does success and what does failure look like within the parameters of the task at hand. Understand me, church? Mm-hmm. So he can provide guidance in the task because he's already been there and done that, church.
Absolutely.
It's called wisdom, church.
Experience is always gonna be your best teacher.
Unfortunately, we have too many lost souls that have a bunch of experience, but not very wise, church.
All their experiences in the wrong things.
Diddy is extremely experienced in the avenues of baby oil, understand me?
And
not very wise.
Cool, a bunch of simping. I'm talking about Diddy, to me, is the ultimate simp.
Well, there's plenty of. The thing is even to this day, there's men that still exchange the life of Diddy for theirs right now to this day.
Absolutely not.
There are males that would love it.
Yeah, they would, but I'm just saying, me personally, I can't be bought, and my man card ain't up. I'm Terrence Howard with it. You feel me?
Understand
I'll
me?
go broke. I ain't tripping. I can make it again. I'm a man. I'll be all right, bro.
All right. Yeah, understand me, church? And I hear him leaving Charlie on that aspect. Understand me? With that said, I think we talked for quite a long time. Understand me, church? We had a mighty fine word. Understand me, church? Once again, this is BA. Understand me? AKA Brotherly Advice. I am the presidential intellectual masculine receiver, aka this pimping. Understand me? Putting this dip on your chip. Understand me? Like, share, and subscribe. This is Survival of Simp. Sign off. No Diddy, baby.
No Diddy.
Church.